5th. We've still got Mark McQueen and Lisa Raitt on the panel. Now that you've had a moment to sit with it and think about it, Lisa, what are the immediate consequences that you can think about with respect to investment, with respect to, capital markets activity in this country, which is still so depressed?
It really is. For me, I think the takeaway is I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go. I understood that they were going to have tax changes. I guess I hadn't anticipated that they would go in terms of the capital gains tax. I think any time that you change the tax treatment for individuals, farms, corporations in the country, it's going to have a chilling impact in terms of how people plan on whether or not they're going to invest in the country, and secondly, how they're treating the investments that they currently have. From my point of view, I'm always worried about anything that's going to cause people to wonder if they're going to invest in the Canadian economy over the long term, because it's that long-term investment that's going to create the jobs, the economy that we need. The other thing that I would mention as well is that if you take a look at the polling and the surveys that have been done with respect to people in this country under the age of 35 years old, they are extremely disappointed with the economy. They're extremely disappointed what it means to them. The question is whether or not what the Liberals have announced today is going to be enough to get that part of the population back in their side for the vote that's going to be coming in about 18 months.
Mark, how do you think about the consequences?
Look, the government made great hay about a focus on AI 10 days ago, and they announced their new strategy in Montreal and Toronto. And to think that an angel investor is the one who is the first big check into a startup around AI and to commercialize that research that university might have developed over the years. This government, on the one hand, is saying we want to encourage and foster this kind of economy. At the same time, they are penalizing the angel investors who take that risk. And if you do 10 angel deals and 3 work out, 7 invariably may not, and the taxes go up on those 3. And those 3 are the AI company ideas that the government wants financed. That isn't the role of the government, of course. That's what risk capital's for. They really aren't going to get what they want on the outcome front. And the fact that you're going to force people to crystallize gains in Canadian companies, oil and gas or technology or whatever, bad, as you just pointed out, for those companies, to pay for 180,000 more bureaucrats that have been hired in this government's tenure over 8 years. To talk about, we're going to pay for housing in 9 years with crystallized gains the next 3 or 4 months, that's not really credible. This is to fund mistakes that they've made over the last 8 years, and it's really embarrassing. Does
this also change the attractiveness of investing in Canada relative to policies in the U.S.?
Well, I wrote a column about that for the Toronto Star tomorrow about this.
Give us a little sneak peek here.
The $2.4 billion that the government is so pleased to announce is over 5 years. So let's say $500 million a year. Alabama, Missouri raised more money in venture capital last year. States with 5-6 million people from U.S. VCs than this entire strategy will deliver in Canada, should it actually ever roll out and put money into companies. I mean, that gives you a sense of just, you're taking a pop gun to a war between battleships.
Lisa, before I let you go, with your political hat on, is this something that Conservatives campaign on? Do they roll it back?
They'll campaign on it for sure. What the campaign will be about the fact that Justin Trudeau doesn't care about you or your family, and look at all the mistakes that he's made, and they'll point to this as another one. Whether or not they're going to promise to roll it back, that's going to have to be seen what the leader decides to do on it.